So in this question, two inclined planes OA and OB having inclination of 30 and 60 with the horizontal respectively intersect each other at point O as in figure. So these are the two inclined planes AO and OB. They are at angle of 30 and 60 and intersect at point O. A particle is projected from point O with a velocity of u 10 root 3 meter per second along the direction perpendicular to the plane OA. If it strikes plane OB perpendicular at Q, so in this case we are going to find out four things. First, time of flight, velocity with which it strikes the plane OB, the height h of point P from point O, so we are going to find out this height, and distance PQ. So in this case we are going to use the equation, or rather the method which we discussed last time with respect to how the projectile behaves when it is projected with respect to an inclined plane. So let us draw the figure again. So we have two inclined planes, one at 60, another one at, so this is 30 and this is given as 60. This is AO and OB, and a particle is projected from a point P in a direction perpendicular, so it will be going something like this, and it strikes the point B, inclined plane OB, which is also a perpendicular in this way. So this is also 90 and this is on, let us call this point P and this point as Q. And this height we are going to find out. Let us call this height as h, and we are going to consider that this is our x-axis and in that direction it will be our y-axis. And we also find out what will the G. So G will be in this direction, so one component will be in parallel x-axis, another one is the perpendicular. This angle will be our 60, so we can call this as G cos of 60, and we can call this as G sin 60. These are the basic things which we require. So, and it is also given that taking G will be taken as 10 meter per second square. So considering the motion of the particle along the axis, that is x-axis and y-axis, considering the motion of the particle along the axis, then we can find out the various components that will be associated with the axis. So it means u of x, initial velocity in x direction, will be equal to u, and in y direction initial velocity component will be equal to 0, and a of x in x direction will be given as minus g sin 60, and in y direction will be equal to minus g cos of 60. We can clearly see this in opposite. We have considered this x is positive in this direction, so this is negative, and u of x is traveling in the same direction, which is x-axis, so this is our initial velocity u, and there is no component in the y direction, so it is y equal to 0. Now at point Q, the particle strikes at a angle of 90 degree or perpendicular. So we can say that as the particle strikes the plane perpendicularly. So we can see that the x component of final velocity will be equal to 0. V of x will be equal to 0. And using the equation of kinematics, we can say that V of x is equal to u of x plus a of x multiplied by time t. Now we are going to put the values. We already know v of x is equal to 0, so this will be coming as 0 is equal to u of x is already u, so this will be u minus a of x is g sine 60 multiplied by time t. From here we can find out t. T will be equal to u divided by g sine of 60, and initial velocity it is given as 10 root 3. So we can write this will be equal to 10 root 3. G we are going to take 10, and sine 60 is our root 3 by 2. So 10 root 3 goes. So we can say that time t is equal to 2 seconds. So this is the basically time taken from point P to point Q. Okay. In the second part, the initial velocity along the y-axis is 0, which we already stated that u of y is 0. Thus velocity along y-axis after 2 seconds. T time. So we can write this as v of y is equal to u of y plus a of y multiplied by t. U of y is 0. We can write here u of y is equal to 0, or in the initial discussion we have already written this as 0. So 0 minus a of y is given as g cos of 60 into time is given as 2 seconds. So we can say that u of y g is 10, cos 60 is 1 by 2, so 2 cancels with 2, so v of y equal to minus 10 meter per second. Now we are going to find out the third part. So for the third part, we consider the motion in x direction. Motion in x direction. We can say that v square x minus u square x is equal to 2a s of x, and we already know that v of x is equal to 0. U of x is nothing but a u, that is 10 root 3. Okay, and s of x is nothing but our OQ. S of x is equal to OQ. So we put the values, we get 0 minus 10 root 3 whole square, sorry this is x, and we get this as a of x was our minus, this is 2 into 10 sine 60 into OQ. So from here we can find out OQ. we write OQ is equal to 100 into 3 divided by 2 into 10 into root 3 divided by 2. So this will be coming as 10 root 3 meters. So we found out that our OQ is 10 root 3 meters. Next part, similarly we can find out PO. Similarly for PO we can write S of y is equal to U of y into t plus half A of y t square. So S of y is nothing but our PO, and U of y is 0. This is equal to plus half A of y is 10 sine 30, because now angle is going to change, and that is equal to t square, that is time taken is square. So if we solve this, we are going to get PO is equal to 10 meters. Okay, in the last part we are going to find out height h of point P. So we can once again draw it here. So this was 30 degree, this is point P, and this is height h, this is O. So we already know OP, so we can find out h clearly from here. We can see that h is equal to PO sine of 30. So it means this will be equal to PO is 10, sine 30 is 1 by 2, this is 10 into 1 by 2. So h will be equal to 5 meters. H will be equal to 5 meters. And in the last part we are going to find out distance. The last part we are supposed to find out distance PQ. Distance PQ. Okay, so if we draw the figure again here, this is 60 degree and this is 30, so obviously this will be 90 degree, and this is our PQ. So we already know PO and OQ, so we can see that distance PQ is equal to square root of PO square plus OQ square and its square root. So you put the values, PO is 10 square plus this is 10 root 3 square and its square root. So you can say that PQ is equal to 20 meters. So this completes the question. Thank you.